The word of the week this week is presbuteros, or elder. This word has a broad semantic range. We're going to look at it as it's used in a few different ways. But first, what are the English words that we get from presbuteros? Well, Presbyterian, obviously, but also our English word priest comes from presbuteros, and I think we'll see why pretty clearly. Let's jump in with Acts chapter 2, verse 17 from the ESV. And in the last days it shall be, God declares, that I will pour out my spirit on all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. So here we get these young men who shall see visions, and the word used here is neoniskoi, just meaning young males. It's a masculine ending, oi, versus your presbuteroi who shall dream dreams. So your young men will do one thing, your old men will do another thing. The word presbuteroi in this case is just differentiating between the young and the old. Later on in John's epistles, so we know that John, pardon me, lives to be the oldest of the apostles. And in one of his epistles, he refers to himself as the elder. It may be two of his epistles. He refers to himself as the elder. There's debate as to whether he means an elder as in holding a position or as being an old man. We know that he's the only of the 12 who isn't martyred. He dies in a prison on Patmos, and he's a very old man when he dies. It's pretty likely that he's acknowledging his advanced age when he uses that word presbuteros about himself. Let's move on and look at how it's used otherwise. In Matthew 26, verse 57, again from the ESV. Then those who had seized Jesus led him to Caiaphas the high priest, where the scribes and the elders had gathered. So here, members of the ruling council are described as the elders, the scribes and the elders. These are designated officials who hold a particular position in the community. The question is this position, elder, a position of status because you hold the position, or do you hold the position because you are someone with status? Maybe it's both. Maybe it's some of each, but we've all seen how that works in day-to-day life. Sometimes someone is given a position because they hold status, and sometimes they hold status because they also have that position. So here, the elders are people who hold an official position in a council, in a ruling council, in Jerusalem in this instance. Revelation 4:4 speaks of a council of 24 elders seated on 24 thrones around the throne of God. So it's not at all uncommon for the term elder to refer to someone who holds a high position that is officially recognized by the people. So that brings us to the third kind of use. In the Christian church, how is the word elder used? Let's take a look at 1 Timothy 5, verse 17, again from the ESV. Let the elders who rule be considered worthy of double honor, especially those who labor in preaching and teaching. So here we have leaders in a specific Christian congregation being referred to as elders. And in this case, these are elders who have doctrinal responsibilities, teaching and preaching. And it's said to be an honorable position. They are taking on a responsibility within the community of faith to communicate sound doctrine. And we're going to look at it as opposed to two other roles. So this is the presbuteroi as teachers and leaders in the congregation, as opposed to, let's say, apostoloi. So apostoloi, apostles, are the sent ones. They also do teaching and preaching, but they're sort of itinerant teachers, preachers, and evangelists. they're not fixed in a location. They're traveling around communicating sound doctrine and introducing people to the Christian faith. And then there's the other group, the episcopoi. We get our English word bishops from the episcopoi, and they are also recognized leaders in a congregation, but it seems to be more of an administrative function, looking toward the practical needs of the members of the congregation rather than the doctrinal needs involved in preaching and teaching. But either way, we get a tremendous amount to learn from looking at the terms presbuteroi as well as apostoloi and episcopoi. And if you have a concordance available to you or a searchable concordance on your computer, there's an awful lot to be gleaned looking at how these different words are used to describe leaders in the early church. But this week's word, presbuteros, the plural being presbuteroi, the elders meaning older, meaning those holding a position, a title given to them as elder, or fulfilling the role of leader in a congregation. Great word, great stuff. I hope you got something good out of it. If so, please do all the YouTube-y type stuff with the liking and the sharing and the subscribing and the commenting. And until next time, Charis Kai Reine Humin, grace and peace to you.